welcome to another episode of Beyond the Black Rims. I'm Mars Girl.
I'm Josh Knight the First.
This is Season 4, Episode 3.
Or Episode 73 for counting.
This is Black Friday, and we would typically not do a show on Black Friday, but, well, yesterday was Thanksgiving here in the U.S., and therefore we would not have been broadcasting on Thanksgiving
We were preempted
Thursday.
by giblets and pie, which I think is a good reason to be preempted.
A lot of pie.
There
was a lot of pie.
Was there pie?
I still might not be so okay after all that pie.
See, this is why I made sure the day before to buy extra Pepto-Bismol, because I knew we were going to need it.
You need it more than I do, usually.
Well, yeah, because I eat more than you on average.
On average. I actually had less to eat this Thanksgiving than I typically would on a typical
Yeah, but you were the one that was like, oh, I have to have the turkey leg.
Because the turkey leg's important. I saved it.
Yeah, you saved it. That's the thing. You make this fuss over getting the turkey leg, and then you took it home. You didn't actually eat it while you were there.
That's because what you gave me wasn't just the leg. You also gave me this other hip bone attached into the socket that had all this meat, and I'm like, well, I can't eat the whole leg and that. I gotta pick part of it.
Yeah, and you picked the part that wasn't the part you originally wanted to eat.
Yeah,
that boggles my mind. You didn't go after that piece of meat right there.
But there was all this other juicy stuff attached to it, and in order to more easily get to the turkey leg, I had to deal with this other hunk of meat that was attached to it. I don't understand.
Look, I don't see what the big deal was. You got this big hunk hanging off right here. You're holding it by the leg. Just go at it, you know.
But it was too
County
heavy.
Fair style.
Too heavy.
Two hands. You have two hands.
It's this piece over here that was attached to the thigh was in the way.
And you couldn't cut it off?
No, you couldn't cut it off because you gave me this piece.
Well, I wasn't the one cutting it. It was, to be fair, it was my uncle. My uncle's the one who cut that piece for you.
Alright, whatever.
Yes, first world problems. I didn't get the right piece of meat that I wanted. But all in all, Thanksgiving is good. Some people had to work. I was one of them.
Yep.
And then some people protested today saying they weren't going to work. I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either, because we'll see when we go into our Black Friday topics. Things got pretty intense, not only here in the States, but around the world. So.
Yes, very much so. Again, we thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you also to our patrons.
Mm-hmm.
You guys do so much for this show. It's amazing. You got a new one this week, didn't you?
A new one, what?
A new patron.
It's not anybody above the $10 mark.
But you're still important. If you're watching, new person, you are important, and we will get to your name eventually. Maybe.
If you pledge $10 or more, yes.
But everyone's important.
Yeah, but everyone's important. Yeah, way to make us look bad.
I'm trying to be supportive. All inclusive. All inclusive. Happy times.
Happy times.
But that having been said, we do have a couple of kind of important well, not really important, just topics we can be very long-winded.
Nothing we talk about is especially important. Let's get this straight. You could be listening to a lot more important things than us, but I thank you for spending the time with us anyway. So let's go ahead and talk about the things we're going to be talking about. First of which is going to be Jurassic World launched its trailer.
I'm just waiting.
There are feelings about it of varying degrees, and I will elaborate on that in a little bit.
Oh, yes, you will.
Yes,
yes, you will. Because I've gotten to hear this. You guys are getting to hear this now. Oh, good. People remember the hashtag, she wants the D-Rex.
She wants the D-Rex.
Yes, she does. Our second story, like we mentioned before, today, of course, is Black Friday. And as it turns out, we're here in America, but we're not the only ones who have Black Friday now. Now, Great Britain now has their first taste of what Black Friday has to offer, and we're going to talk a little bit about how that went down and how people went down under the mass of other people trying to get into stores.
And then finally, the Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer launched today as well. And that was part of the reason why we wanted to do this show on Friday and not Wednesday, because we knew that the trailer was going to be launching today, so we would have something to talk about.
You guys understand.
So, there are varying degrees of feelings there, too. I think in both of these trailers you're going to see that there are elements of like and dislike in the both of these. But, well, I'll save that for a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll save that. We gotta save that.
You know, it's funny, I talk about these movies, and specifically Star Wars, and actually, I just want to make mention, I use a USB Blue brand microphone, and it's produced with THX audio technology. And sometimes I really regret it, because this microphone picks up freaking everything. Now, granted, the microphone, I think, was really designed more for Foley art, you know, to create sound effects, than it was for voiceover. But I still, it's held up so well. It's been a fantastic microphone.
Yes, absolutely.
I just wanted to make mention of that, because these are movies that feature THX audio.
Yes, they do. Follow-ups.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a couple of follow-ups before we get into the real meat and potatoes of the show. So, first and foremost, wanted to make mention of a couple of things. Granted, luckily this week it's all stuff that we've talked about before. It's just, you know, following up. First off, being Attack on Titan finally announced Season 2 is coming. Finally. This is coming on the wave of these new compilation films coming out in theaters, which apparently do better with the pacing, but things are a little off, but that's what you get with these compilation movies. It's just to get people up to speed. That way they can go ahead and get used to the story and then get right into Season 2.
Well, you know, in a way, I'm sort of like, well, Season 1 sure did end in a stupid place, and then we weren't sure if there was ever going to be a Season 2 or not, but then, at the same time, the other side of that could have been that they continue on and they have to make filler, you know?
Yeah.
And I think with a show like Attack on Titan, that would have been a really piss-poor idea.
I support the fact that they decided to say, no, we're stopping, we're going to wait, and then we're going to pick it up again. Because the thing is, they're giving themselves all of 2015 because they're going to release these compilation movies. This is when, if I'm not mistaken, the live-action movie is supposed to come out, because they're saying the second season won't debut until 2016. So we've got a while to wait. We know it's coming now, but they're giving us enough, I guess, of a rehash and then this live-action movie to hold us over.
That makes sense.
And I'm thinking that probably... Because you think about it, Funimation already has the rights. They've already dubbed the first season. You think they've already got...
already aired on Toonami?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
The entire first season, right?
If I'm not mistaken, yes.
Okay.
So I'm thinking they must already have the rights to Season 2 then. It would stand to reason, right?
Well, it would stand to reason that they would be the first in line to get it, yes. It wouldn't be a hard sell for Funimation. Hi, Cat. Don't get in the way of the microphone.
Yeah, go play with Godzilla. There's a little... You guys can't see this, but there's a little Godzilla figurine that you get at a flea market right here in front of me. He's keeping me on point. But yes, there's the news on that. Moving on to more Tokusatsu news. A weird little piece of information, but hopefully it turns out to have some very large, awesome things coming out of it. Tetsuro Kurata, who people would know best as Kamen Rider Black or Kamen Rider Black RX, announced, oddly enough, through his restaurant's website, he owns a restaurant, a steakhouse there in Japan, that this summer, or rather this spring I should say, he's going to be taking part in a new Rider film, and he will be reprising the role that he's famous for playing Black or Black RX.
Which sounds really cool, but if the first news was through a restaurant, doesn't that halfway sound like it's advertising for the restaurant? More for the restaurant and less for a movie or for that particular character?
You might want to question that, but they're saying, even though the news came out of the restaurant, they say he will once again return as that hero for a feature film. The words feature film come out there. Now, you look at the days we live in now. V-Cinemas come out all the time now. Now, with the Space Sheriffs, extra Rider movies, and Sentai movies, yeah, they could totally do that now. Now, the question is, they make mention that he will... This appearance of him will feature a new transformation. And that worries me.
Yeah, that's concerning. Because
notoriously, his character, Minami Kotaro, is the only writer to really have... He's known for being the one guy to have a sequel series.
The one and only one.
The one and only one, where he had a form for 50 episodes, and then he had a completely different form for 50 episodes, not counting, Robo Rider or Bio Rider.
Mm-hmm.
So to give him another one, which is kind of what they're making it sound like, I'm not so sure I want that.
Yeah, I'm a little scared of that.
But I'm at least happy that he's still coming back, and he still loves the character enough to want to come back. I mean, you look back at it.
my favorite, so...
You look at it. We disagree on Kamen Rider Decade, but you agree that the best episodes of Decade were when he showed up.
Absolutely. I still don't think that two of them should have existed in one place, but if purely for eye candy, the two transforming together was pretty cool.
Yes, it was. Okay, so moving on to other news, and I see one person in the chat happy about it, as am I. A total of seven new Garo projects were announced this week.
A little overkill, if you ask me.
Well, it's amazing to me. Finally, now Garo is expanding out and becoming the big franchise that I knew it could be.
I'm just sort of sitting here going, don't you think there's a possibility that it gets really far away from the tone and the feel of the original series?
I don't know that it has yet. They've been pretty good about it, even with the anime, which of course you can now watch streaming over on Funimation's website. The feel has managed to stay fairly true thus far.
Mm.
And as they've expanded out, they're still keeping to this base idea of, okay, it's Makai Knights versus horrors with help from Makai priests and priestesses. And it's really happy for me to be able to see this thing getting bigger and bigger, and even so, there's still a lot of people over here who don't know it. Maybe now that Funimation has the rights to the anime, there'll be bigger access, which we've talked about before, but I guess I should name these titles. Okay, so what we have here is they're going to make a movie, really pilot for Garo Yamio Terasu Mono, the season that premiered about a year ago. That's getting another movie called Gold Storm, which will lead into a new series for that storyline, also entitled Gold Storm. There's also going to be another movie for the currently airing series, and that's going to get another season. There's also going to be another spin-off with another Makai Priestess, and another season of the anime. And then also it's being mentioned that there's also another manga coming out, and they're working on adapting it into a musical.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you're excited about it and all, but it's just like suddenly boom. And considering we're getting announcements of, say, a whole bunch of Marvel movies in that same kind of boom, here's a whole bunch of crap, that's a concerning sort of feeling to me. There's always going to be the fan that's like, man, this is pretty friggin' awesome news, and I get that, but at the same time, that sort of thing worries me. Mostly because I have had franchises of my own that I personally love, where the franchise was like, here's 80 bajillion different little spin-off things, and you're like, that's cool, I'll take all of them, and then you realize they're all crap, and they don't nearly touch the heart of the original project. So,
well, so far I've been fairly satisfied by everything I've watched. Now, admittedly, I haven't been able to finish watching the anime. I'm behind by like 5 episodes, and then this most recent season, I still have to catch up on. But so far, everything has told a very concise story. I like them to be, but I try not to let that get to me so much.
You alright?
Yeah, sorry, it's a dinner coming back. But otherwise, I'm very happy with the results. I hope that this gets bigger and bigger. And yeah, like somebody's mentioning right now, I would really like for there to be some sort of an RPG game for this world, because it's so rich in designs and characters. I'd really like to see it expand out there.
Who's saying something about it? Oh, no, yeah. I see lack of options can be a problem, like video games.
Oh, I guess I read that wrong. Yeah, well, either way, I'd like a video game.
Yeah, because I'm like, where did you see the word RPG?
Well, no, I'm saying I'd like an RPG.
Uh-huh.
And moving on to other news, they did officially find a director for Wonder Woman, Michelle McLaurin, who's done a lot of TV, things like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, The X-Files, will be directing this. So they did, in fact, get a woman
I'm glad that it's a woman director. Actually, I was kind of having this conversation with you just as we've been working on the Famicom and Writer project. Just a question of, how many female directors exist in Hollywood? And yeah, you can name a couple, and I was just realizing, does it just not happen? Why is it that it just doesn't happen? Are women not necessarily motivated to go into a directing position? But this is definitely a situation where it needed it. I know a lot of people were pissed that a woman was not at the helm of Gem and the Holograms when they learned
I remember that.
That Chu was directing.
Right.
And I agree with that, actually. I think it was really, really important that a woman be in that position, both for Gem, which didn't happen, but now especially for Wonder Woman. I think a woman will do it justice.
Justice. I get it.
No, that wasn't a pun, Josh.
I made it a pun.
Well, you can take your pun and...
What? What do you want me to do with the pun?
And go on to the next topic.
Okay, and the last follow-up that we have is, I've got the picture here in front of me, and I'll give you guys the link so you can see what I'm talking about. So, we did officially, unofficially, however you want to look at it, it's here. Get a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator Genesis.
Genesis.
Now, mind you, he's made the excuses before about, the skin on the T-800 will age, but the metal won't. Okay, that's fine. I get that. But here's the picture, and I don't trust that robot's going to do damage. I mean, maybe that's what they want. Maybe they don't want me to be afraid of this thing, and then it sneaks up on you.
Yeah, they clearly want you to be taken by surprise, like, oh crap, he's still able to do all the stuff that he could.
Yeah, but there's something inherently wrong about a wrinkly Terminator.
Yeah, I feel like if you were able to create that kind of a skeletal structure that doesn't wear down and doesn't break down, why couldn't you also do that with its exodermis?
With the skin, yeah. Exodermis, yeah. You think about it, though.
With its dermis.
Yeah, but you think about it, though. They say within the lore that they had to adapt the Terminator so that way they looked less and less plasticky, because that's how they could pick them out. But don't you think, as far as Skynet is concerned, this is a little too far, that they've managed to get the Terminators to a point where, they're going to age so well. Yeah, we're really going to show those humans now. Like, how far endgame are they thinking that they're hoping they're going to get a Terminator in there that doesn't get found out and doesn't get blown up long enough to prove that it can age?
Why would that be a goal?
Why would Skynet want to do that? Like, that's so long term. You would think Skynet was more about, no, we should take out the humans now. Worry about it now. But no, they're thinking long term. This is an AARP planned Terminator right here. Like, no, we want him
Well, maybe he's trying to get into, like, old folks' homes. Like, maybe really important people are really old important people, and he needs to be where they be.
Yeah, but you think about it, the Terminator has always gone after young people. Do we really need Arnold as an old person infiltrating an old folks' home in the future? Or even the present, for that matter? I need to get my walker. Like, really? Like, I don't see the necessity. I mean, I know you're trying to write it to keep Arnold in there, but you didn't need to. I'm just saying. Just saying.
I get you.
And that having been said, that's all of our follow-ups.
Okay, Kat, please don't ruin anything. Okay, good job.
She's good.
She's good.
We're all fine here now.
She's going back to her box where she likes to sleep. That's good.
Good old box.
Good.
Okay, so our first story, which I've been hyping since last weekend.
Okay. Can we not do the John Williams thing? Because I don't care if the John Williams stinger is in the trailer. John Williams is not composing on the movie. Now, granted, the composer, I'm blanking on his name right now. He's actually done compositions for movies and games that actually
Quite a few, actually.
Quite a few that are actually quite good, so I can't really knock him. It's just... no, you're not John Williams, though.
So, base point, the Jurassic World first teaser has come out online just a few days ago, and there's a lot of mixed reaction about this. Some people really are excited to see their one of their favorite movie franchises back on the screen again, and other people...
Well, like, I'll say this much. If it wasn't trying to be a Jurassic Park movie, then maybe I could be like, well, that looks like a fun, exciting monster movie. Because
this is the thing you had been saying from day one when this got announced, is that you were worried it was going to become a monster movie.
Well, yeah, because that's what I felt like Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 were. And now with this trailer, it has become increasingly clear that that's exactly what this is. Because it's even kind of tongue-in-cheek, where they're like, oh, so you crossbred and you made a brand new dinosaur? Well, that sounds like a bad idea. I'm like... Wow, the movie became self-aware. That's amazing. Yes, that's a terrible idea. In fact, I think we had similar problems in previous movies, and look what your hubris wrought.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a shock to anybody. There was something I was commenting on, and I know this isn't quite trailer material. I'll get to trailer stuff in a minute, but we were commenting on this a little earlier tonight. About the conversation in the first Jurassic Park, where God creates dinosaurs, God destroys dinosaurs, God creates man, man destroys God, man creates dinosaurs. And then Dr. Sattler responds with, dinosaurs eat man, woman inherits the earth. And then both Malcolm and Dr. Grant really slowly turn to look at her. Like what? But the camera lingers on her, and she still just kind of leans in to look at the Tyrannosaur paddock.
Yeah.
And the cinematography there, I have to say, is brilliant.
I agree.
And I don't think that it's something that happens in Lost World or Jurassic Park 3, where there's this contemplation about right and wrong, about what man has done, and then juxtaposed with a slight bit of comedy, but the camera continues to linger on her to continue to insinuate, well, no, she's gone back into serious mode because she's still genuinely interested in seeing this Tyrannosaur that may or may not be in front of her. And I don't feel like Spielberg is still producing.
As far as I know, yes, he's still executive producer.
But directing is
Colin Trevorrow.
Is a different story. And I feel like without Spielberg directing, there is this element of should we, shouldn't we, that feels genuine and alive and real human humor that's meshed so well, and I don't see that in this trailer. Now, granted, it is just a trailer, and we should talk about what the trailer does present to us.
Well, okay, we should do that. So the first thing you get in this trailer is we have a mom sending her 2 kids off, obviously, to this new park, because that's the idea. The park is finally opened, and it's been open for a while, and it's massively popular. Mm-hmm. So we have this mom, you know, wishing her kids goodbye at the airport, and she gives them this really kind of douchey send-off, you know, oh, and if anything breaks out, remember, run. And I'm like, wow, that's a really terrible thing to say to your kids, because there's a history of that happening.
Yeah, of this happening. Granted, it was under a different company before, and a new company has purchased InGen, but, yeah, there's a history of dinosaurs eating people on this island.
Like, I wouldn't joke about that. Like, that's a legit thing in world that's happened before.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to make comparisons to current events going on, but you don't say that joking. There's some things you don't say jokingly if there's been a precedent for it. Like, you don't say to somebody, just out there example, just saying. You don't say to somebody, okay, have a good time in New York. Oh, by the way, if you hear any loud noises, run. No, you don't say that jokingly, because there's weight on that. So, yeah, that's kind of a weird way to start the trailer, is, you know, you've got the mom sending them off that way. And then, of course, we're shown our first look at the newly opened, or really not newly opened by this point, it's been open, this new park attraction, Jurassic World, and you get this very, to me anyway, this very Disney feel to it.
Which,
with
yeah,
the
I'm sure is the point,
and the resorts and just the whole look and feel of it.
I think that was John Hammond's whole idea in the first place, though.
Right. He wanted people to have as close access to the dinosaurs as he wanted, and now, so many years down the road, what were we talking?
22 years
22
since
years later,
the events in the first film.
It finally came to pass. You know, he wasn't around to see it, but you look at it and it looks like the way things looked when we were there at the Jurassic Park area of Universal Studios.
Which is pretty good, yeah.
So you see all these people here, and it's passe to them. You know, they're there in little trolleys while these... I forget the actual name of the dinosaurs they're running alongside.
Gallimimus.
Gallimimus. And to me, it's like, okay, you threw that shot in there specifically to harken back to Grant and the two kids running away from them in the first movie. And to me, that comes across as a cheap feel grab. You know what I mean?
You think so?
I mean, if you think about it...
It's not so bad, but I feel like it's dangerous to be driving in the middle of them.
Well, because I argue this. If you look at the way it's shot, Grant and the kids were running to the right. Here, it's the same shot, but the car's coming from the left.
No, this is actually...
I mean, left and right.
No, they're actually running in the exact same direction as...
I thought they were running the other way.
No, it's shot from the exact same angle.
Okay, well then, if they did shoot it from the same angle, then yes, that is purposely done.
Yeah.
I would argue. And now, we move on and we see that they've got these... To me, they're really stupid. These little...
motorized, human-sized people mover hamster balls.
Yeah, these hamster balls, basically, with two seats in them. And
I'm sure they're on, like, some sort of, not really a track, but I bet they're on a GPS-guided map.
Right,
of some
because,
variety,
you know, technology has improved and whatnot.
As they walk next to a four-legged sauropod kind of long-necked something or other. I don't know what kind of dinosaur.
Littlefoot's mom, I guess.
Oh, sure. And you see that and you just sort of think, well, somebody's going to get trapped in that and get knocked around for a bit while something goes after them. Like, you just know.
Yeah, you just kind of figure.
Yeah.
You see it and you... If you know tropes, if you've even seen the first movie, you think, oh, well, I can obviously see how that's going to go wrong.
Well, yeah, because you remember in the first film, the Jeeps no longer move, and then kids get stuck in the Jeep, and the T-Rex starts trying to eat at them. And I'm just like, well, let's take it to the next level. Let's get them knocked around even farther.
You go to The Lost World, there were people getting knocked around in a bus by a T-Rex, and it's like, well, that was only a matter of time when you got it off the boat.
Yep.
And then you just kind of expect that thing to happen. And then we see the, I guess you'd call it the SeaWorld portion of Jurassic World, where there's people in the stadium, and there's a splash zone, and they're feeding a shark to whatever the sci-fi movie of the week is this week.
And I'm just like, well, that's one Spielberg franchise eating another Spielberg franchise.
So...
And
you think about it, like it's funny to me. That, honestly, from the first time I saw this, I laughed at that part.
I did too, because I was like, man, Spielberg, that's the wrong movie. Oh.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Right.
But it was funny to me, because you think about it, and this... I guess that's what they wanted, because this is meant to show the pacification of all these giant animals and dinosaurs, is that they've gotten it to do tricks now.
Yeah, but I mean, you can only make that do so many tricks. That thing is hungry, okay?
Well, yeah. And it's the thing, like, how much does that cost to feed a shark to this thing multiple times a day? Mm-hmm. Like, don't we have, like, anti-shark killing laws out there? Like, this company that owns the park now... How much red tape did they have to go through to make sure that they could have fresh shark readily available for their giant alligator to eat? Like, I imagine that thing eats a lot.
It's a good question, but, you know, like said, spared no expense. And if billionaire company InGen can get bought out by some other company, dude must be ballin', because that's rich people stuff.
Yeah, like I want to use the term giraffe money, but no, this is dino money.
Yeah.
This is dino money. Okay, so Now we're introduced to Bryce Dallas Howard's character, who I guess is the CEO overseer, not the person who bought the park, just the person who's running the park.
Well, at least running the genetic engineering of the park, at the very least. And
we're given our first hints of the newly minted creature that they've made there, and you hear that the tail end of the new Godzilla's roar noise.
Yeah, that kind of bothered me. Like, haven't we already had another giant dinosaur use that noise before? Unless what they're telling me is that they spliced Godzilla DNA with a dinosaur. Which, well, I mean, if they got enough money, they can do whatever they want, I guess.
Well, because for sure, I think what they said was a T-Rex, a snake. It was either a cuttlefish or a jellyfish, and then one other animal were spliced together to make this thing.
Yeah.
This purported D-Rex that they're calling. And I'm willing to bet that the pictures that have been leaked out there of the little Lego toy are probably pretty accurate to what this thing looks like. But then we get Chris Pratt's character finally showing up, and of course he's the one saying, you know, you guys spliced a dinosaur? It's a bad idea.
That sounds like a bad idea. And again, I'm saying the whole movie is looking pretty tongue-in-cheek and pretty self-aware until then it gets to the monster movie portion where it's like, oh man, how big is this thing? Did it climb out of its pen? You better evacuate the park. And that's where clearly it starts to look like a monster movie. And
now,
the original movie's scary, you know? It's just... I don't see the introspective...
The forethought, the science, the philosophy behind it that was there in the first one, which I think really added to that first one, the feel of it.
And I'm not saying that the DNA splicing is not something that Michael Crichton wrote into his novels. Yeah. I'm just saying the execution of this film is looking starkly different from its predecessors.
I get that. And the thing that makes me wonder, too, is how is it that he's the only person in this trailer? Hopefully when we get the full thing, we'll see he's not the only person saying this is a bad idea, we should run. Because, again, if this is a world where this stuff, like, how much... One, how much is this company hidden from people? And two, how much time has passed to where people forgot that the rampage in San Francisco even happened.
Right. I'm also wanting to point out, I don't think there's anything wrong with being meta or self-aware. I do just think that when you're talking about putting it into a franchise that has not previously been doing it, that's where I have the problem. The dichotomy is just all wrong, it seems. Yeah, there's things it's hearkening back to, but at this point it's just kind of almost making fun of itself.
Well, it's like it's trying to hit all these familiar tones, but the thing is, those tones, visuals are not the same thing as things as tones outright.
That's true.
And I think this movie fails to get that. Mm-hmm. Or at least this trailer, I should say, because I can't say because I haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, because I'm going to see the movie. Like, no matter what, I'm going to end up seeing it, I think. Because otherwise I'm not really going to know.
And the only other thing that we'll bring up is, yeah, there's this tail-end sequence with Chris Pratt riding his motorcycle alongside raptors, which makes me worry about this whole spoiler concept, whether or not it's true, that they've domesticated raptors, and inherently that just kind of seems wrong to me.
The director said, and this was in a news article that came out today, Owen's relationship with the raptors...
Owen being Chris Pratt's character.
With the raptors is complicated. They aren't friends. These animals are nasty and dangerous, and they'll bite your head off if you make the wrong move. But there are men and women out there today who have forged tenuous connections with dangerous predators. That's interesting territory to me. So it sounds like he's trying to pass them off like, no guys, they're totally still dangerous, but it's possible that he still made friends with them. That's what that statement sounds like to me.
You're trying to tell me that Chris Pratt's character is like the Jack Hanna of the dinosaur world.
I don't know.
Like, I don't even... I can't even.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're really trying to tell me that he did that. like he's been around dinosaurs long enough to where he could befriend them, and it's like, no, it's cool. I gave him some kibble. He's all right. You know, I fed him some guy named Newman. It's cool. But yeah, that's the Jurassic World teaser for you. We're gonna have to see a little bit more before we can feel a little bit better about it.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to the second story, and we should probably get through this because yeah, we
spent a lot of time on Jurassic World.
So as we said before, today is of course Black Friday.
Yay!
Yay, I guess. This is of course one of the biggest shopping weekends of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And of course...
And this is going to go through to Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday. What I didn't realize... Two things here. One, just to start off with, we don't have a name for Saturday in all this.
No, we do not.
It's Black Friday. I didn't realize, even today in our newspaper here in town, they're trying to coin the phrase Gray Thursday.
Oh, please, no.
No, it's Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. Don't try and make this a whole color palette wheel of savings online and in stores. No, it's Thanksgiving. There is no Gray Thursday. Don't try to make Gray Thursday happen.
The people out there shopping on Thanksgiving for Black Friday deals are just terrible people. Don't give them a day that overwrites Thanksgiving. No, I'm sorry. That is where I put my foot down, and I realize I put my fist down and not my foot. But that's because you can't see my foot.
But point being, the thing we wanted to bring up tonight is that apparently, I didn't realize this, I thought everybody did it, but I was wrong. Great Britain just yesterday got, or actually today I should say, just got Black Friday.
I don't know why you would have thought that everyone does Black Friday, considering it only happens after Thanksgiving, which is an American holiday.
Oh, I thought everybody spent. I just thought.
You're just stupid.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Yeah, maybe
okay, so the thing about it is they've never had it before. They've watched.
They had no reason to care until approximately 2010 when Amazon opened their Black Friday through Cyber Monday deals internationally.
Yes.
And that's when the UK was like, what is all this? And then, so you get companies like, what were the companies I was seeing? Asda? Is that
Asda, yes.
And I believe that company, either that one or Tesco, both of those companies were having big Black Friday deals in Britain. One of them is literally owned by Walmart, so it makes sense that they had the scary Black Fridays just like here in the United States.
Because admittedly, you know, I'm there yesterday looking at the newspaper, you know, seeing all these deals, and admittedly, yeah, there were some pretty sweet deals yesterday, today, and then going into Cyber Monday for anything, electronics, games, toys, all of those certain things. So yeah, they're tempting, very tempting. But the thing about it is, it's a whole new ball game when you're watching it happen, and then you go and experience for yourself. Because I think back to when we were finding out about the zombie walk here the first time we did it. We heard about it. We thought it looked cool, and then we got there, and then we ended up getting trampled and bit.
Like, literally bit by people who didn't know how to properly roleplay. Like,
only here, with Black Friday, you see it looks cool, you want to try it out, and then you go there and you get trampled and bit and stepped on.
Because these people really legitimately don't care about other human lives. Like, I stood out with an old roommate of mine back when Circuit City was still a thing. In fact, I think it was like the last year Circuit City was still a thing.
So this wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things? In the grand
scheme of things, no. It was a handful of years ago. We were out there since, I don't know, 2 a.m. And we were relatively near the front of the line camping out, tents and chairs and everything like that. And all we wanted was a camera, and we get in there, and we see the Circuit City people standing there, waiting, and they're smiling, and then I see their faces change drastically.
When they saw how many people were out there.
And then I turned around, because they let us in, and we're relatively near the front, and I turn around. A stampede of people. I was like, God, get the camera, run! Get it! It was all the way in the back of the store. And God, it was the scariest thing I'd ever... And I swore I would never do another Black Friday ever again.
And you haven't.
I haven't. It's too scary. So here I am, I was actually trying to look up Black Friday stuff, and yeah, there have been some bad incidences here in the States, but from what I'm understanding, thanks to there being deals on Thursdays, now Black Friday isn't as bad as it once was. I still don't agree.
I still think they're downplaying it a little more.
They could be downplaying it, but UK is definitely upplaying it.
Right, because it's a new thing.
It's relatively new for them as far as in-store Black Friday purchases are concerned.
And some people would say, "Oh, well, you know, they're a little more proper than we are. They'll handle themselves."
They just never had it before.
No,
that's the only difference. They looked at us before and thought we were friggin' insane, but that's because they never had a Black Friday before.
And there's plenty of Vines and YouTube videos and footage available of watching these people tear apart a stand of smart TVs faster than you can blink an eye, and that's just like us.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here seeing, like, there are a couple of escalators in one video where they're trying to kind of funnel people through, and the staff of this store is like, this poor woman, she's smaller than everybody else around her, but she's the employee that has to keep people from going through, and she's like pushing people back while they're pushing her back, and then she's kicking her legs up onto the escalator to keep people from walking through her, and then people jump the escalator anyway. Then came the footage of what was supposed to be this one particular store being really super proud
that they were going to have a nice, calm opening.
Which they did not. They invited, like, national media out there.
The press, basically.
To film and get reports from this opening.
Like, oh, look how proper and nice our opening is going to be. Go ahead, open the doors. Let's see what happens.
And they opened the doors, and sure enough, stampede, and people fell over, and the people behind them were not stopping, and you could hear somebody going, stop my legs.
Yes, and that happened to several people within seconds.
And people didn't freaking stop. That was one of the scarier looking ones. People had been arrested, there were fist fights. We listened to this one officer in, I think, Glasgow.
In Glasgow, yeah.
Who was reporting on, they had to stop at like 7 different stores. And he was really pissed that, like, you guys sure weren't prepared for this. Like, they really had no idea what they were getting into because they'd never done it before.
Because that's the thing about these deals. They appeal to your baser instincts and override any good sense you have. And that's the same kind of mindset that goes into the people who devise the evil that we all know as the Steam sale. Basically.
Yeah. But nobody is going to shoot me in the face over a Steam sale.
Right, exactly.
And they're going to have plenty of copies that will never run out.
But see, that's the inherent difference between online buying, which of course is safer, you know, unless your account's getting hacked. But going into the store, you run that risk, and I almost want to imagine the people over there at the name of the stores escapes me, but thinking, look, they parked their cars, they knew what they were getting themselves into. I say, let them shop.
All right.
But yes, at the end of the day, no matter how many bruises or stitches you need, we're all the same people. We just want a really kickin' awesome smart TV.
Apparently, all those people all wanted Samsung smart TVs. Those things flew. In every video, it seemed like, and I don't even think they were all in the same store.
No, they were different stores, every video we looked at.
They all looked like different displays, and all those friggin' Samsung TVs just went...
Like little, 4'11" ladies, like, barrel-chested, putting these things over their heads and trying to carry them out through the sea of people. Like, man, I don't even know if I have that much resolve for a TV.
I saw this one staff member who had some kind of electronic that was approximately yay big in a box, and they didn't have a line, they didn't have any sort of a queue system, they just had the lady, she'd pick up 2 out of the thing, and then she'd throw them over her back, because she didn't care anymore.
Dang.
And the people behind her are just going, ugh! It was so awful. These guys had never done it before, and maybe they should learn. Maybe they should learn from this experience.
I don't think that it's ever going to get to a point now that they've had a taste, they're going to keep doing it. Because the money is what speaks, and people are going to want, these stores, I should say, are going to want to offer those deals again, because you don't want to turn away good money.
That's true.
So hopefully next year they'll have learned from their mistakes and miscalculations, but I don't think it's going to add up to much.
Yeah, because people, no matter where you are, we're all the same everywhere, and we are all monsters.
Yes, we are.
People are all monsters for the stupidest crap. I don't think there's much more we can add to that.
No, but we can get on to our third story.
Uh-huh.
And our third story is...
This guy right here.
This guy right here. Tech the block right here. No, okay, so, like she said at the top of the video, we purposely waited until today to do the show rather than doing the show a day early on Wednesday because Star Wars, The Force Awakens, the first teaser was released in theaters that you could go to at some point in the country, probably far away from you for most of our audience. But then there was the beautiful news of trailer will be released online the same day.
Yeah, and I figured they weren't going to keep us waiting for it that long, even if it was only going to be in theaters. I was like, so it's going to be online within the next day, right?
And even if it's not going to be online, it's going to be online. Somebody's going to leak it.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to happen.
And they knew that, so they were like, we may as well just
let's just put it out there. And I'll go ahead and outright say, for me, the feeling is outright, well, not outright, at least 80% positive for this. Because, yeah, we've been waiting, because they've kept such a tight lid on this thing. Because we were just talking about this the other day, too. You think about the merger between Lucasfilm and Disney, we didn't find out about that until it
it happened. Like, oh, just so you guys know, I sold my company to Disney. Me and my neck meets. Thanks, Lucas.
Yeah, I thought that was your Lucas impersonation.
And so we were also having this conversation about the Age of Ultron trailer from Marvel, and that got leaked, and we're like, oh, somebody got fired, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, I just feel like Star Wars is such a different franchise that there is no way in hell that they would let somebody just leak it without any pre-planned, like, they are too careful.
Right.
If Lucas can manage to be like, I'm not telling anybody until, like, the very second we sell this company, then I think he can also keep a trailer under his mullet, gillet, neck, gizzards, under...
Yes. Under his gizzards.
Under his gizzards.
But point being, let's not worry about Lucas's gizzards. Let's talk about this teaser. Okay, so first and foremost, what you're looking at here is a picture of John Boyega, and we can more or less confirm, given his costume, that he has either stolen a stormtrooper outfit or he is a stormtrooper.
I would be okay with either one. Although, I would also be very interested if he was in fact a stormtrooper, because that would confirm everything I always thought about the films before the prequels came out, which was that they were just enlisting troopers after a certain point.
Right.
You know, so that would make me really happy to see that, yes, that is in fact the case.
And the thing is, more often than not, sites are reporting that this guy right here is going to be our main focal point. He's our main character who we're going to see through the eyes of, and that's fine.
Yeah, I'd like that.
And then we're also given a couple of other interesting tidbits. We're looking at this new astromech droid, which has a soccer ball for a body.
I'm wondering if that is in fact his body, or if he just converted himself to roll-around mode. Like, I don't know enough about him yet. He doesn't have a personality to me yet. I just know I could probably kick him.
Yeah, well, you could probably kick him like that nose.
You sure did spook the cat with that.
Sorry.
She's settling back in.
But yes, we've got those astromech droids, and then we've also got the pictures of the confirmed new stormtrooper outfits.
And we saw photos of these helmets before, and we were like, well, are they real? Did somebody just, like, paint them up and then give them out to the internet? Well, it turns out they're legit. I'm okay with the sort of direction that it's taking, because it still feels like old stormtrooper outfits while still moving into a future 30 years later, you know?
Yeah, they're cleaned up. We also see a little bit of their blaster. It looks like the same old blaster. They just gave it a black and white paint job.
That's fine.
So that's fine. Actually, going back to this, the photo, bring it back up.
Which one?
This one. People are pointing out online that the stormtrooper in the middle there is a little shorter than everybody else. You know, a little
short for a stormtrooper.
And people are saying, well, maybe that's Boyega right there.
Perhaps.
You know, he was there in the rank, and for some reason he fell out.
Perhaps.
You know, just to point that out. And then we've also got presumably our female lead here. People are saying her name is Kira, but that has not been confirmed anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just a very notable rumor, and people are just kind of latching on to it.
Driving around on some kind of land speeder.
Which kind of looks like a Bluebell fudge bar, if you guys know what that is.
Nobody knows what a Bluebell fudge... But you know what a fudge popsicle looks like.
Yeah, it looks like she's riding a fudge popsicle. That just sounds inherently funny to me.
You're mentioning the goggles.
Yeah, if you look at her head right here, the goggles, if you notice, they're actually an old Stormtrooper visor. She just kind of put a little strap on it, and those are her goggles. I think that's friggin' awesome. Because it's not recycling per se, but that's very
that could
resourceful.
It could also be a statement on her part.
Well, yeah, to me that says rebel. To me.
Yeah, like, I took this and now I'm claiming it as my own. Past that,
The next thing we've got is, for me, the best sequence next to the ending was seeing our new X-Wing pilot and these new X-Wings in formation, and oh god, that's so... Like, I played that specific part of the trailer over ad nauseum today before I had to go to work, just...
Yeah, that part looks really good. Looks a little digital for me, but they still look like X-Wings.
Oh, they look like they're going to get down. They're going after somebody. They're looking very mean, very in formation. I like the new blue accents on the sides there. I actually am really digging the new pilot outfits. They still harken back to the old orange color scheme of the old ones. This is a little more orange-red. And Kotaku has, or IO9 I should say, has a nice side-by-side comparison of old helmet versus new helmet. And it's just streamlined. That's all it is. And that's what I like about the feel of this whole teaser showing off this world, is everything's just streamlined, but still the same.
Yeah, I can get that feeling, yeah.
And then, of course, we got this guy... who's probably been the biggest point of contention for nerds today.
I'm gonna say this much, and I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for it, but, one, I don't like it, and then, two, I never really liked many of the quote-unquote cool lightsabers that started getting introduced in the prequel trilogy. I never really liked Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber to begin with. I always thought it was kind of dumb. I don't like Dooku's little bent hilt saber. It seems like he's an old man with arthritis who needed an ergonomically correct lightsaber, and that just seemed kind of silly to me. Multiple colors I get, because you just switch out a crystal and then you get another color, but some people are arguing, hey, he needs this cross hilt guard thing in order to protect him and stuff, and I'm like, well, I don't actually see that functionality.
I'm thinking of it this way: the design there, adding a guard like that means it's more like a broadsword in that respect, because broadswords, they've got this very broad guard at the base of the blade.
But a lightsaber doesn't need that.
Yeah, but a lightsaber's never.
It's light. It's a different kind of light from.
Now, the only thing that I'm thinking about here, and I don't know that anybody's really fully addressed this yet, is that we look at this. This is there. This is done.
Yeah.
We're being shown this now. If they decided to do that, I should hope that Abrams and his team have a very good reason why they gave this apparent Sith a weird lightsaber guard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they wouldn't put it there unless they were going to show us why it's there. Mm-hmm. I would hope.
You could also see in that shot a lot of things that a lot of people are arguing about that they don't like. You'll see the way the camera follows this particular Sith guy. We're assuming he's Sith. I'm pretty positive he's Sith.
I'm pretty sure he's
the
Sith.
way it follows him feels very J.J. Abrams in cinematography direction and not very Lucas in cinematography direction, as well as the way that the Millennium Falcon shows up, not Jurassic World, Millennium Falcon shows up.
Now, of course, this was the bigger money shot of the whole thing because we see the Millennium Falcon tearing through the sky as soon as that happens, you hear the classic John Williams thing.
It's a very, the maneuver that the Falcon does, I think, is absolutely spot on correct. I think that the cinematography is just the one thing that is very Abrams, and Lucas probably would not have come up with it.
Yeah, and I'm actually fine with this.
And I will say this much. I'm not too concerned about it being, about the cinematography being different. If the movie is a good movie, and if it tells a good story, then right there it's already 100% better than any of the prequel movies, so I have nothing to complain about. If it's different, so be it. If it's just good, then we've done better than 3 other movies.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, because personally, you know, with stuff like the new Star Treks and Star Trek Into Darkness more recently, even though those were shot very stylistically, there was still a very good story at the heart. Granted, it was a rehashed story, but it was told in a fresh way. And I think that's why they hired Abrams in the first place, because we want this well-known franchise, but fresh.
Right, I agree.
And that's what I see here. I see my classic Millennium Falcon with, granted, a new satellite dish, because Lando trashed the old one, and it's going up against villains I know, TIE fighters, you know, buzzing by, and they're going at each other, and like, yes, that's what I wanted. That's what I came here for. This teaser has given me at least 4 things that I was wanting to see again that would make me feel better. I saw X-Wings, I saw Stormtroopers, I saw a TIE fighter, I saw the Millennium Falcon. I'm good.
The one thing, like, I'm not thrilled with the lightsaber, and I absolutely wish I had gotten just one shot. Any shot, I don't even care what shot, of an older actor. Just
specifically Han, Luke, or Leia.
Yeah. That much would have satiated me a little bit more. I don't care what they were doing. I don't even care if they never said anything, because nobody really said anything except for some voiceover guy.
Who sounds a lot like Benedict Cumberbatch, but I don't think it's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But aside from that, I can say that I'm ready to see more. I'm not completely 100% like, yeah, this is gonna be amazing, but I am like, my attention, you have it.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm very much, my butt is in a seat. My butt was in a seat when this got announced, but now I'll feel better that my butt is in that seat, having seen this.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's some differences from original trilogy and from prequel trilogy, and yeah, I'm not thrilled with absolutely every single everything, but it's not pushing me away yet. I think that's positive.
Yeah, that's positive, because a lot of things manage to push you away, but this, I think, for a lot of people, this is going to pull them back.
Yeah.
And this is what they wanted. I think this is what we all wanted. We wanted to be pulled back in. And I think this trailer, more often than not for people today, is doing that.
I hope so. We are going way over time.
Not really, because we had to restart.
Yeah, but we are pretty much still
we're
right at that
cusp.
We're
right on it. Okay.
So we gotta call this here, and then we can keep going with our Q&A for you guys who are live here with us. And if you're watching on YouTube, you should be down here with us on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Our regular time, Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Central, so that after the show you can come and hang out with us and participate in Q&A with us for an additional half an hour.
But until next Thursday, you can always talk to us on Twitter. I'm at Josh Knight First.
And I'm at Mars Girl.
So for this Black Friday edition, this has been Beyond the Black Rims, and we'll see you guys next week.
Good night.